my name is Attorney Walter, not the third. I'm going to try and edit this video and have it come out directly after the prior video, which was the history of COLA, what happened. Basically, in that prior write-up, which was done by AARP, they did an analysis of 1975 forward to the current date. 1975, they started doing basically COLA increases. COLA increases or cost of living adjustment increases. So basically, if you try to buy a cookie, at the store in 1 year, and it's let's say $1 that 1 year, and then the next year the cookie costs $1.30, then that increase is what they're trying to increase your benefits by. Your retirement goes up by the 30 cents, your disability benefits go up by the 30 cents because the cookie went up by 30 cents. They use lots of products as their metrics. They look at 3 months throughout the year as to how they calculate it, 3 months for each year. They use the CPI-W index, but that's not what this video about. What this video about is, boom, CNBC, specifically Social Security cost of living adjustment could be 6.2% in 2022. I don't think that's accurate. We started out with these lovely news stations reporting across the board in the fours. And then we started to see some snookering of that amount up into the fives, and now we're seeing some snookering into the sixes. But remember, we find out in October. It's August. September's about to hit. We're going to have some really amazing storms coming. Insurance costs are going to go up, and kind of the bottom line, I don't think that 6.2% is accurate. I think what we're going to be seeing is somewhere in the upper sixes to low sevens by the time October runs around. Because remember, they have to do their calculations and all that stuff. But the bottom line is, they're going to be looking at essentially prior years to how, references this year, etc. So, but let's read the article. Let's give CNBC, their shot while Sweetie sighs in the corner to go ahead and get more treats, even though we all know she's chubby. All right, this is from Lori Konish. I've read articles by her before. Published Wednesday, August 11th, 2021. I think this is an article she did back in the day, but she keeps updating it. Key points. I like when they do that. They add these little bullet points. Social Security annual cost of living adjustment for 2022 could be the highest it's been in years. That's probably true. They did some manipulation of it during the Great Recession, 2008 time. Okay. Based on the latest consumer price index data, beneficiaries could see a 6.2% boost next year. I think that's low. The preliminary estimate is subject to change before the next year's adjustment is officially calculated. Yeah. Let's go into it. Here we go. New consumer price index data points to a possible 6.2% cost of living adjustment for Social Security recipients for 2022, according to the latest estimate from the Senior Citizens League. That's up from a 6.1 estimate that nonpartisan senior advocacy group projected last month. You see, it just keeps climbing a little bit more. I know Sweetie's in the corner wanting treats. I'll get her a treat in a little bit. But she's round. Yep, that's what I have to deal with all day. That's up from a 6.1%. Social Security's annual COLA is calculated each year based on the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, which is the CPI-W index, which we don't like. We want the CPI-E index, but that's another video. The official calculations, which are typically released by the Social Security Administration, I always see the is and are issues in these articles. I don't know why, and it's kind of screwed up with the graph there, but I don't know why they always do that. It's multiple there, but anyways, so the Social Security Administration in October is based on the average of July, August, and September data. With 1/3 of the data needed to calculate the COLA already in, it increasingly appears that the COLA for 2022 will be the highest paid since 1983, when it was 7.4%. Yeah, but remember, 1981 was 11.2%. 1980 was 14.3%. Which, those are the high ones. Those are the biggies that they have on record. Sweetie, I'll get you a treat in a minute. You're not starving. I know. All right. In 2021, the Social Security COLA was 1.3% for the average retirement benefits. That amounted to a $20 more per month for a total of $1,543. Still a more generous 6.2% raise for the next year. I love how they say generous. There's nothing generous about this. The economy is out of control. When the economy is out of control, the cost of living adjustment goes way up because the dollar is significantly devalued and the products cost more money. Generous. They're so generous. Just, make a budget, stick to the budget, make it work, Oh, but COVID. I know, but at the same time, how are they not prepared for this? May not exactly be the cause for celebration. The reason, rising inflation, which is pushing prices higher. Gasoline, for example, has risen 41.8%. Oh, you can't use that as a metric. It's like that's just shock value in this article. Has risen 41.8% over the past 12 months and is helping to push the COLA estimate up, according to the Senior Citizens League. Yeah, it is. But, it's like, that's not, they're going to have to play with that because, fuel went to a buck, and now it's back up to $3. There are people out there that are like, oh, hey, politics, it was $1, now it's $3 again. It was $3 before all this. But, you know what I mean? Like, come on. The broader consumer price index rose 5.4% in July compared to a year earlier, driven mostly by rising food and energy prices, according to data released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics on Wednesday. Isn't that an interesting thing that energy keeps getting more expensive, yet we keep having better technology for it? Isn't that interesting? Any changes in Federal Reserve policy that could affect inflation would not likely come until after the final Social Security COLA for next year is announced in October. I'm just going to add that to the article. It doesn't say that. Most of the central bank's focus has been on helping people return to work rather than on price increases that are perceived as temporary, noted Greg McBride, Senior Vice President of Bankrate.com. Cute. I love it. It's amazing. Great. Thanks for that. All right. So here's what you need to know. Everything's going to become a lot more expensive. Your cost of living is going to go way up. They're going to give you part of that adjustment because they use the CPI-W instead of the CPI-E metric. And as a result of that, your essentially quality of life is going to go down, like it does almost every year. And that means that even though you're receiving benefits, your quality of life continues to become less, let's say, sparkles and fireworks. And ultimately what that results in is you are unhappy and more unhappy, and you're either a disabled, retired, or other individual who is becoming less and less, I don't know, come up with a cute word, with great jubilee, with great excitement, with astronomical benevolence towards the system. Whatever, you're just not happy as much as you used to be, and that's because you live in fear. And why do you live in fear? Because the benefits are not enough to prepare you for an emergency. And why are you afraid of an emergency situation? Because you live in the modern world. So, first thing we can do, let me just get to the bottom line. We got to switch the CPI-W to the CPI-E. We got to increase benefits based off of 110, 120, 130%. Boost off of the poverty line. You know what's weird? I would love to see the SSA become a pet project. Pet projects get pretty good funding. I'd like the SSA to become, a couple senators here, a couple House reps there, maybe a president at the White House there. I'd like to see it become a pet project because, maybe we could take a lot of money that's being sent to other pet projects, and we could put it into these super funds, and we could actually have, instead of the current generation paying for the next generation, we could have the current generation, it's even worse than that right now because it's about to run out. So what I'd like to see is us going into the positive, us going into the green, us going into the there's more money there's more money in it than is needed. And I think the problem we're running into is that there's some political changes. And I'm not going to go into that because the video may get restricted. And maybe I should do one. I don't know. I have to think about it. But the bottom line is there's two really big, important programs in the United States. There's the military, and there's the Social Security Administration. The IRS pays for these two, right? Because we pay taxes and pays for these. So most of our focus, as it does financially, should go to these programs, not just to afford them now or the next 10 years, but to make sure we can afford them 100 years into the future. It's weird that so much money is spent on other things. It's odd to me. You would think that with these two basic things, the safety of the nation and the continuation of Americans, right? being able to exist based on having money to afford medication, food, whatever. You would think that these programs would be at the, I mean, they're the IRS, the Mint, IRS, these two programs. You would think everybody would be more concerned, but they're not. I don't know. That's just kind of weird for me. Maybe everybody should start being a little bit more concerned. The money that we have needs to go to the people that are in this country. The money that we have needs to go to people who are not able to afford the basic essentials of life. I mean, look. Let's take a disabled person. You get in a car accident. They can't work. For the rest of their life, they're getting this itty-bitty check, right? Somewhere along the line, hopefully they got a better attorney than one of these big box firms. But a lot of them do go with these big box firms. They're like, I got $1 million. $1 million when you're injured for the rest of your life in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s is nothing. It is not enough. It is nothing. You want to know the trick? When it comes to personal injury, look up which law firms have the highest, not only settlements, but wins in court. I mean, if you can see the settlements, that's often restricted. The wins in courts, if they have something where it's, hey, nobody can see, there's also that. But the different bars will usually come out with some sort of analysis and different groups, special legal groups, analysis on essentially what is the average that somebody gets for something. And then they'll come out with which firm, basically had the highest personal injury-based settlements and or wins or whatever. The guys on TV, they have some of the lowest ones, but they advertise the most. But the guys that don't need to go on TV, they'll get the most for you. But you'll never know about them unless you already know about it. It's like one of those weird, you'll know if you're part of the club, I think that's a problem. But back to the original doctrinal theory of the bigger issue here. A person's in a car accident in their 30s. They can never work for the rest of their life. Boom, they're getting a check for, let's say, $1,200 to $1,300 for the rest of their life. They're stuck. They're not even spinning their wheels. The wheels are broken. They're stuck. You can't do anything with that. You can barely rent a place with that. And yet we send money to pet programs, and I don't know. Maybe I'm a sucker for a country helping out its own people, but I guess the thing that really concerns me is that I would like to see everybody look at the Social Security Administration as a pet program that they'd like to fund again, because unfortunately the people are suffering. And I do not see the politicians, in my opinion, having enough consideration towards those, both on the left and on the right, for increasing their benefits, fixing the program for 100 years into the future, and making sure that we have emphasis on review for the structural needs of the American people. That's all we need, right? We need our military to be really strong. We need our Social Security benefits to be really strong, right? That's our base funding. We get that, that's our rock. For the rest of the time, we can work on other stuff. Once we get those set, we're good. Hey, then we can focus on other things. But those are the base fundamentals. Anyways, guys, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Attorney Walter Knott, please like, subscribe, and if you could leave 5 stars. If you're wondering how, go to the bio section below, and we'll have a write-up on how to leave 5 stars. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. I make these videos. It's not my job. This is my job. This is my nonprofit that hasn't been certified as a nonprofit yet. I'm still waiting. It's taking forever. But this is going to be my first nonprofit, where we make constitutions basically for future space colonies and future space stations, so that they can use the templatized language to go ahead and give people rights and freedoms going into space. But my point is, this is not, the YouTube channel is not my job, but it's incredibly important for you guys to understand something very simple. If the retired and the disabled were to combine in force with their voting abilities, you would be unstoppable. You would be unstoppable. Just think about that. Anyways, I'll catch you a little bit later. Sweetie's right over there trying to get some treats out of me. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.